Shock the system. Bulletcast for life.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You know the name, you know the face, you know why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I'm the Podfather. I'm a 23-year-old piece of gold, and I am the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today. I'm the Bulletcast champion. Just like Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Roddy Strong, Adam Cole, baby. This title reign is hashtag forever undisputed. For life, brother. I got my day one here. She's my tag team partner, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T, creator of the award-winning Under the Radar, host of Curveballs and Chair Shots. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, I apologize. Ooh. The first ever Bulletcast champion, the Canadian Destroyer, Brandon. How's it going, man?
It's going great. Opening day today, or this morning.
Oh,
the
really?
A's are playing. Unfortunately, they lost, but that's because I wasn't watching it. This time, Thursday morning, 2:30, I'm going to be watching it just like Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, there you go.
You know, it's in the Tokyo Dome, right there, so you got to wake up early and support the team.
Speaking of Wrestle
Town
Kingdom,
business.
one of New Japan's biggest fanboys, biggest young boys, a guy who legitimately thinks he can beat up former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar, Ulysses Lopez.
How you doing? It's been a long time. It's always a pleasure to see to actually be here on the panel with you, gentlemen.
How's the car doing?
How's the van? How's the death trap?
Well, it got some new starter, new tires, new engine. So
you gonna take us to APW next
No,
weekend?
no. We're taking sweet old Jules. We're taking the Jeep, my guy.
Okay.
Oh man,
I gotta keep it safe. Keep it safe. All right, let's get into this PEA, Performance Enhancing Audio, episode 112. Justice for Kofi. All right, let's make it happen. So first up, outside of the ring, you mentioned that's Under the Radar. Sue Atchison, she's receiving a Warrior Award. She's the person who's responsible for the partnership with Make-A-Wish and WWE. She's been with the company for 30 plus years. So, as you said, nice to see unsung heroes getting their recognition during the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. The Warrior Award has been given to other people like Connor, who was the young man who unfortunately lost his battle to cancer during Daniel Bryan's rise to the world title at WrestleMania 30, and then other people who have had disabilities have received the award. So it's nice to see unsung heroes getting their due. You said you like to see some stage hands or other people get this award. So I agree with you, man.
Well, I mean, the Ultimate Warrior, when he did his Hall of Fame speech, he said that there should be an award during the Hall of Fame that should be awarded to people like Sue, like other people who are unsung heroes in the company. And as you said, there were other people who were diagnosed with illnesses, and some overcame, some did not, like Connor. But like for WWE, sometimes I'm a little leery when they do their charity work, because sometimes I feel they try to do it to get themselves over. Yes, they're probably trying to get themselves over with this one as well, because WWE always, because Stephanie McMahon said the future of marketing is philanthropy.
Yep.
So don't forget that.
Yep.
But obviously, good for her. Hopefully, they kind of maybe, I don't know if it was just like they couldn't find anybody else, they just gave it to her. But good for Sue.
Good for Sue. All right, Trevor Lee. Trevor Lee's number one fan right here. He was a part of the talent signing last week. I just found out after we recorded the pod last week that he was signed. What are your thoughts on your boy Trevor Lee?
Well, it's been kind of in the works and pretty much a done deal for a long period of time now. He, was done with PWG. He was done with his Mid-Atlantic stuff. He was obviously done with Impact. So Trevor Lee, one of those guys who definitely could come in, hasn't really got a lot of notoriety, on the mainstream indies like PWG, and other people know a little bit about him. But I'm hopefully that he comes on to NXT and he can do well, especially if Ricochet and Black are gone. He can come in and fill in that void that those guys are going to be leaving.
Trevor Lee is one of the most inspirational talents I've seen in a long time. It's just that he just goes out and and becomes himself. He's just himself when in the ring, and I love his moveset. I love how dynamic he is. I love how different he is from a lot of wrestlers. So good luck to you, Trevor Lee, and
it's like if you just combine Matt Riddle and a caveman, you get Trevor Lee.
Yes, yeah. Trevor Lee, one of my favorite X Division champions of all time. All right. I didn't mention this on the pod last week. I forgot. Jushin Thunder Liger. He is going to be retiring at Wrestle Kingdom next year, so he's going to be hanging it up. You mentioned that on Under the Radar last week. I'm going to get Ulysses' take on this since he's a big Japan guy.
Oh, man. Jushin Thunder Liger. Even before I knew what New Japan was, even when I was hardcore WWE, I knew who Jushin Thunder Liger was. He was an inspiration to me, to a lot of smaller wrestlers who in a business that's dominated by big men, he's the one who broke out. He's still beloved. By fans, not only in Japan, but as you gentlemen know, all over the world. Every time his music hits, it's something inspirational. Even now, today, when his music hits and you see him pose, like I'd even do the pose with him. Like, it's just something. It draws the kid in me, and to see him go after what 25 years, over 25 years in this sport, it's unbelievable, and it's gonna be sad to see him go.
Yeah, Jushin Thunder Liger, he had that match with Tyler Breeze. I think it was at the first TakeOver Brooklyn.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, quick story. I was listening to, I finally took the time to actually listen to a Joe Rogan podcast because he had Jake Roberts on there, and Jake was talking about how Liger was on a tour with them in Australia in the early to mid-90s, and Liger didn't want to stay in the same locker room with Jake because he had the snake with him. And so Liger got his own room to change or whatever, had a shower in it. And so Damien gets in the toilet where Jake is at and this was a really large venue, and just travels through the pipes, and as Liger gets out of the shower, he's in his towel and the snake pops out of the toilet and just looks at him, and Liger's terrified of snakes, so he's running out of the room, and he loses his towel and he's just running around naked.
Yeah.
And Jake told that story. I thought it was hilarious. So it's going to be unfortunate to see Liger hang it up.
Yep.
Any other thoughts about him?
Just hopefully we get to see like one last great run from him. We have Kurt Angle, who we can get into it. Maybe he wasn't exactly the Kurt Angle he was 20 years ago, but obviously Jushin Liger isn't going to be that way. But I think he's still able to wrestle a certain style and see glimpses of the old Jushin Liger. So hopefully maybe makes an appearance at G1. Maybe he goes into the Super J Cup. Hopefully he has one last run that we can kind of remember him for.
I would really love to see Jushin Thunder Liger at Madison Square Garden. I feel like that would be great for him.
Speaking of somebody who could be at Madison Square Garden, Flip Gordon. He has been cleared by his doctor, so Flip's going to be getting back in the ring, and we'll see if he's on that MSG show.
Yeah, really like Flip. I saw him in the Best of the Super Juniors.
We met Flip Gordon, chill guy.
Yeah, he seems like a really, really chill guy. Very tremendous athlete.
Yeah, great story of him finally getting booked for All In and having that world title match for the Ring of Honor title with Jay Lethal, or Black Machismo, back in September 1st, 2018. All right, so David Benoit to AEW. Photo surfaced online of Natty taking a picture with David Benoit recently. He was backstage at a WWE event, and he was wearing an AEW shirt, or a hoodie, so could this be a possibility? I know he had been training to become a wrestler. I don't know the status of his performance in the ring. I don't even know if he's had a match, but what would your thoughts be if David Benoit went to AEW?
If he's anything like his father, then he'll...
Don't hire him?
Wow. Hey, whoa, let's step away from that territory.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking Chris Benoit later on the show.
Yeah.
Anyways, obviously it's kind of an awkward situation for David. I don't know if anybody's ever been in like the same shoes he's been, because
OJ Skids.
Well,
that's a topic for a whole nother day.
Touche, but it is kind of awkward and weird for David Benoit, who obviously wasn't in the house when that whole stuff took place, but obviously if you hear Benoit, you're going to associate him with his father, and
just call him David B.
Yes.
Or maybe he could change his name, but
Take
then people are just going to know exactly
that he's Chris Benoit.
That he's Chris Benoit's
son.
son.
He looks like his dad so much.
Yeah.
So
eerie.
I'm going to have to see it play out if he does wrestle. If people, do you think people are going to catcall him and be like, a-holes to him, or do you think they're going to be respectful? Because
I'm actually dying to see how that
is.
Because...
watch your words.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am.
we're just going for it all here, guys. You're making our social media correspondent uncomfortable. Shout out Ron Waldo. You want to get on camera real quick, buddy?
How you doing, Ron Waldo?
Just peek your face there.
Look at that.
They look at him. There you go. All right. For the video portion, people can see that.
We have another young boy?
No. This is a good one. The young boy from last week was, All right. AJ Styles officially signs a new WWE deal, and he adds a new member to his family, a little puppy.
Oh, good for AJ Styles.
He's gonna get another tattoo on his ribs.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think he's running. He's running out of room.
Yeah, that hurts.
But congratulations, AJ. I don't know the logistics of his deal, but I don't know how long it's going to be, but shout out,
Yeah, good for AJ Styles.
Proud of my boy.
Yeah, make that money. People wanted him to go to AEW just so he can have, fantastic matches. But I think where AJ Styles is in his career, he's had his great matches. Now it's time for him to make money, and maybe he can make money in AEW. But I think WWE is a more secure place that he can go to.
Yeah, one of the top merch sellers.
And if he goes, let's say he goes to AEW, and AEW is just a complete and utter failure, maybe he's not allowed back to WWE. So it allows him for the next 20, 30 years for the rest of his life to always be
financially.
In the
this
family.
is a good move for AJ Styles.
Absolutely.
And it looks like he's very happy in WWE.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you want most out of any profession you're in. If you're happy, then why go anywhere else?
Exactly. All right. So Cody Rhodes, he filed some trademarks Monday, and these are the trademarks he filed for: Battle Bowl, Bunkhouse Stampede, Bash at the Beach, and Dusty Rhodes.
So a lot of old school WCW stuff he's filing for.
Yeah. I don't know if he's gonna win the trademark battle, because it's funny. I saw, kind of going off topic, but staying relevant with the topic, sort of. Jack Swagger, he said that WWE has an LP for the name Jack Swagger, but they did not trademark it.
Wow.
So he's filing for that trademark. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can get that going, because I think
I'm not a lawyer. What's the difference?
LP, it's like licensing principle, and not like an official trademark. Because I think MLW, they own like the War Games name or something, but WWE has.
I was about to say, I think WWE bought that
weird.
out.
Yeah, it's weird, man, how trademarking and LPs work. But
so does this mean that this opens up the door to have like Bash of the Beaches and Bunkhouse Stampede shows?
Yeah, I guess so, And if he can get the Dusty Rhodes name, maybe that really opens the door to Cody Rhodes using his legal last name, which is Rhodes.
So the Dusty Rhodes name is still under copyright by WWE.
I don't know if they had it's a copyright or an official trademark or an LP.
Okay.
Like I don't know what's going on
Technically,
there.
his legal name is Reynolds, but
I listened to a podcast he was on.
He's right. He's like Ryback.
No, like his legal name has been
like
Cody
Ryback.
Rhodes since he was 18 years old.
I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on TV.
Yes. Are you representing Lori Loughlin in the whole college bribery scandal?
No.
No.
Shout out to the Iconics with that sweet burn that totally made sense.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, inside of the ring, Bully Ray issued an open challenge for the Ring of Honor New Japan MSG show. Who's going to show up and face him? We don't know.
CM Punk. He called out CM Punk, basically.
Oh, yes, there we go.
It's official.
It's official.
It's official. CM Punk is coming back.
All right, and then Jay Lethal.
Happy birthday, AJ Lee. Happy birthday to my girl.
Is her birthday today?
Yeah, or yesterday. It's like all over Instagram. CM Punk is just.
I think it was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, happy birthday, AJ Lee.
Happy birthday. All right, Jay Lethal defends the Ring of Honor Heavyweight Championship against Marty Scurll and Matt Taven at the MSG show in a ladder match.
That is going to be something to watch. Are you guys going to... is it on pay-per-view?
It's the same night as the Hall of Fame. I'm a WWE guy. They got me. I'm gonna watch DX go in. I'm gonna watch Tori go in. I'm gonna watch Sue Atchison get her Warrior Award. That's what I'm gonna be doing that
well,
Saturday
I'm gonna be paying my $40 to Fight TV and watching this live. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yes, sir, it is.
Yes. We shall.
It's a little sad to see that this ROH title match is probably gonna be a mid-card match, and all the New Japan matches are gonna be the top of the card.
Yeah, that's sad. All right, the Young Bucks are the new AAA Tag Team Champions. This happened recently in Mexico. They surprised Pentagon and Rey Fenix, and they took the titles.
Ahí estamos, Young Bucks.
Maybe those titles are going to be on the line at Double or Nothing.
Yeah.
Possibly. I mean, maybe that foreshadows that the Lucha Bros will just win the titles back. But this is the first step in AAA and AEW working together, which should be a fun dynamic.
Yes, I know.
And just
Cody was promoting stuff there. Go ahead.
Just unrelated though, does AEW have a lot of do they have a lot of relationships like AAA, ROH, New Japan?
They don't really have ROH and New Japan relationships. They have OVE, that promotion from China. They're doing some work with AAA.
Well, that's the Impact thingy. OVE. Ohio versus everybody. I don't know. I thought it was like OWE.
Well,
something.
That promotion.
The Chinese promotion.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see what goes on.
And I think they have like stuff with like Japanese women promotions or something.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, New Japan. I think if New Japan was smart, I think they should leave ROH and go to AEW. But then our New Japan also partners with CMLL, so if AEW's partnered with AAA, then that kind of muddies the water. And it's like, I know New Japan probably wants everybody to work together, so it's going to be interesting if New Japan goes, because I mean they put their tickets on sale for that G1 show in Dallas, and tickets aren't flying off the shelves. Like maybe they have 2,000 tickets at most being sold right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're they underestimated how big and popular Kenny and
Cody,
the Young Bucks and Cody and all of
yeah.
them are, especially to the American market. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They have a show in Dallas?
Yes, where have you been?
I haven't.
They
Not
announced
keeping
this.
up with New
they
Japan.
announced this
No.
on at Wrestle Kingdom that they're having
See,
the
that's
first
why.
day
That's why you're not
of
keeping up. You
the
announced it at
G1
Wrestle
climax.
I
Kingdom.
don't watch Wrestle Kingdom live,
Exactly.
you know? Dallas, so the American Airlines Arena? All right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I've been to a couple shows there. Went to a couple Raw and Smackdowns there during my tenure in Dallas. It was the old Sportatorium.
Yep.
Good venue. Good
So you
venue.
got a plug? We get there for free?
No, I
That's the
don't
main
have
question
any.
right there.
I mean, New Japan might just be giving away for free at this point, but
That's
Yeah.
a possibility, you know. I've been to one New Japan show. I'm okay. I'm all right.
seen one, you seen them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
exactly. There
exactly.
you go. All right, this day in wrestling, WrestleMania 10, 1994. Bret and Owen, the historic ladder match with Razor and Shawn, and then Bret Hart beats Yokozuna to become the WWF champion. A lot of cool stuff happened here. Unfortunately, Big John Studd died on this day in 1996. Foley returns to Raw in 2000 on this day. It was kind of going with the becoming commissioner and all that other stuff. Homicide, LAX member, his birthday is today. He's 42. And the Stinger, he is 60 years old today.
Happy birthday, Homicide. Happy birthday, Sting.
Happy birthday, Sting. You know, defeated Flair, tried to take down the NWO, turned it to the NWO Wolfpack, made his debut in WWE, lost the battle to Hunter because, you know, WWE beat WCW, so it just made sense for Hunter to beat Sting, you know.
Yeah, shout out Sting.
yeah.
Hopefully your meet and greet prices aren't too steep at Starcast.
Oh, yes, I gotta get you to sign the encyclopedia.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be wonderful. It's gonna be excellent. Yeah. If I don't have enough, you're gonna spot me? Is that how this works now?
I mean, I can spot you, but it's going to be a loan.
That's all
And
right.
loans have interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's not do that.
I'll give you like a 0.5% or
That's all I ask for. When do I get my Dolph Ziggler plaque? He's
told
not on TV right now.
$100. And he's coming to
Just go-
he's coming to San Francisco next month.
He
for
is
like
420. He's gonna have a little comedy show. I'm gonna go
Oh, yeah?
see my boy DZ.
Yep.
Hopefully get a picture, grab a quick little interview if I could. Possibly, you never know. All right, fan mail. Hootie Hoo 420.
Hootie hoo, my boy.
Last week's episode, Philip said he would love to go to the WWE warehouse. If you guys could go there and take one thing, what would it be?
That's a very
That's
broad
very-
question because there's just
yeah.
so much stuff that you could steal.
I want to take first.
Sorry,
of all,
borrow or
I want to take the fist from the old SmackDown set.
Dude, that thing's it's like in 3 separate pieces.
I know, but I still want to take it home. I
Yeah,
feel
that-
like I could have a place for it.
Just
That
put it on
fist
top
was
of your
awesome.
house, dude.
Yeah, just on top of the house, just the fist going through there. Yep.
What about you?
I mean, maybe the first thing that came to mind, I would like to have Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase. That'd be fun,
yeah,
especially as I was there live to see him cash it in. So, you know,
That makes
sentimental value as well as historical value.
I have the Money in the Bank plaque on a piece of the ladder that he climbed on to win it. I would say one of the WWE titles, but they're all in Hunter's office. Like, from Buddy Rogers to, like, the scratched logo that they had before they switched to the new one. I think I think the Intercontinental title from WrestleMania 3 with Savage and Steamboat wrestling for. I think I'd want that. You know, the history that's ingrained with that championship. I think that'd be really cool.
Yep.
I think that'd be something cool to have. You know. All right, and then we only had another one. Let me.
Only 2 this week?
Yeah, only 2. I know.
Man.
Come on, you guys, send in your questions. We're waiting to answer them.
All right, Jack of all trades. If you guys were wrestlers, what aspect of pro wrestling do you think you would be very good at?
Yeah, are they talking about like in-ring skills?
Like
promos?
what aspect of the business in general? You want to go?
Yeah, I think I would be. I think I'll be a decent promo. If the Miz could pull out a promo like he did, like we're gonna get to, I feel like I could pull out a good one as well. You guys?
What about you, Brandon?
I mean, I don't want to, you know, talk myself up or anything, but I would think that maybe I would be good at like storylines and like making things make sense because I'm a stickler for making things make sense
Yeah.
on this podcast. So
Yeah.
I'm hopefully if I was in the trenches being there, I would be like, yo, this doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? Blah 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 blah. But
Yeah, I mean, I would hope I could like tell a good story, like really good psychology, like be a. I'm not saying I could be a mastermind like Jake Roberts, but I think what I could be good at is like probably like the selling aspect of wrestling, like taking a move like I don't know Santino Marella's Cobra and making it look like it's the most devastating move in the business, making it look like it hurts more than an RKO, a spear from Roman, Jake the Snake DDT or even a Big Show's knockout punch. Making it look phenomenal, something like that. All right, Mania Madness. Brandon, take it away.
Oh, yes. So the real March Madness might just be getting underway, but we are in the full swing of things for Mania Madness. We are in the Elite 8.
Oh.
Elite 8.
Elite.
So we're going to start it off with another Shawn Michaels match, because we have like 20,000 of those to talk about. We have Taker and Michaels from 25, the number 1 overall seed, against a Chris Benoit match.
Oh.
WrestleMania 20, the triple threat with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. So we have 3 people on the podcast, so we have tiebreakers. See, y'all two
Mania
can go
25.
first.
Put it down for me. That's I can't let that one go.
Yeah,
My favorite match of all time.
I know you Podfire, you always say to me that is the greatest match you've ever seen, and you're never gonna change your mind.
I can't, man.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna go with the WrestleMania 20. That triple threat match it's close to my heart.
It's close to my heart as well, the first ever WrestleMania that I saw live, but I still technically 25, fantastic match. It's going to be very hard to someone to beat it, I'm going to be honest, because maybe it's going to have to be just a flip of the coin.
1 week, yeah, we don't know.
You never know. So Takers and Michaels will go on the first one, moves on to the final 4, and then now we have Taker and Michaels from 26 going up against Hogan and Warrior, a match that wasn't even on the original bracket, but I added in late, and it's making a run to the Elite 8.
It's making a run, brother.
Come on.
I mean, 2 historical matches. You have the passing of the torch, you might say, with Hogan and Warrior. Hogan's maybe technically best match he's ever had. Warrior, obviously, the best match he's ever had. And you have Taker and Michaels' last match ever. Well, we remember it as his last match ever.
That's the last match
That is
ever.
the last match that we know, that we remember.
So, he's a,
Saudi Arabia, who?
What? I don't know. So, I mean, it's a tough one because they're kind of almost like the same matches in a way, like 2 wrestlers maybe a little limited, but it had a great story behind it, and it's very historically significant.
26.
Yep, 26 for me.
All right, I'll go 26 as well. Why not? Just have everybody agree with each other. So now we're moving to the other side of the bracket. Hard and Austin was upset by a recent classic, Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, plus the cash-in of Seth Rollins from WrestleMania 31 against possibly the most historically technical match of all time, Savage Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. So maybe Savage Steamboat more historical, Lesnar and Reigns plus Rollins maybe a better match technically. Who knows? What do you guys think?
I actually want to get your insight on this, man, because you were there that night, right? You were
Yes, I
there
was
in
there.
the building.
Yes,
so.
Yeah.
You were there at the stadium.
Yeah.
Of Levi's. So it's Lesnar and Roman going up against who?
Savage and Steamboat.
Savage and Steamboat, man.
One of the greatest matches of all time.
Me personally, Savage and Steamboat.
All right. I guess that's it.
That's it. He only gets a vote, and he's the deciding factor.
I said Savage and Steamboat too.
Fine. I guess it's Savage and Steamboat. I probably would have picked it as well, but I am a little biased because Reigns and Lesnar was a fantastic. I think people forget how great that Lesnar.
Yeah, before the
cash-in. It was a very, very good match. So next
very
up,
intense.
We're into the final matchup. We have Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 10 that happened 25 years ago in that ladder match. And then we have the WrestleMania 19 main event that has also been making a run with Angle and Lesnar WrestleMania 19.
I see that
the
face,
technical
Pop,
classic,
I don't know.
and
which
you're
one.
like the only reason why this match has gone this far because you voted this against Rock and Austin from WrestleMania 17, upsetted it in the first round because of a flip of the coin.
Because of the flip of a coin,
So
yeah.
I think I know where you're going. I will go
going 19, man.
We'll go with Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels from that ladder match. It still holds up to
I
this
get
day.
the
So now
deciding,
he
bro.
The
gets
deciding factor,
Woo!
bro.
a lot of pressure on you.
Oye, mi chico. Let me tell you something.
Wait. Let me give my 2 points here.
All right, go ahead, man.
Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. Who could ever forget the botched shooting star press that Brock Lesnar did? Almost broke his neck. Both of those athletes were injured before the match, and they still gave a hell of a performance. But for a lore standpoint, for a historical standpoint, nothing could beat WrestleMania 10. So I'm going down with the ladder match, WrestleMania 10.
There we go, my man.
Blasphemy!
I gotta agree with him because the Lesnar Angle match is like remembered mostly as from a botch, and the Michaels Ramon match is a technical classic. It's a ladder match, the first of its kind in WWF. So obviously I agree with him, but I agree with his sentiment and why it is a better match as well.
That's fine.
So next week, the Final Four, and then the week after that, the week of WrestleMania, we have the championship, so it's almost like we planned this out.
I know, right?
Boom! Shakalaka.
All right, Brandon. Before we go, can you enter? Can you say the last four just in case?
So the Final Four, we have Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, both of them from 25 and 26, going up against each other, and then we have Savage Steamboat against Ramon and Michaels. So we have kind of the newer WrestleManias going up against the older WrestleManias on both sides of the bracket.
Oh, yes.
Y'all better tune into that one because that one's going to be a good show.
Speaking of tuning in, I tuned into Monday Night Raw this week on Monday, as I always do.
Segway.
Yes, let's talk about it. Brock Lesnar returned, and he cost Seth Rollins. So, the Beast Incarnate is there with Paul Heyman. They're doing the usual shtick or whatever. And I think they were listening to the pod this week. I said McIntyre needed to interrupt Lesnar the night after Mania. I guess they decided to do it a few weeks early. That's fine. That's fine. Somebody's listening to me. And McIntyre's spewing off his due. Rollins comes out there, smacks him around with the chair.
That was fun.
And Rollins heads over to the ring, and Brock hops out, and he just holds up the Universal Championship.
I love it how Rollins was just wailing on McIntyre with those chairs. I really like that. And I love the bit where he said, okay, I'll stop, and he just kept wailing him. That was nice.
Thoughts?
Another easy payday for Brock Lesnar, just stood there and smiled and didn't do anything. From Seth Rollins' point of view, I thought it was a good week for Seth Rollins. He cut a good babyface promo backstage. Drew McIntyre I thought was fantastic once again for the second week in a row. He cut a good promo on Roman Reigns challenging him to WrestleMania. I didn't like the verbiage of him saying, the grandest stage of them all. I don't like heels using the cult language. I don't like babyface using it as well, but it definitely stands out with McIntyre when he's supposed to be this badass, renegade. And my conspiracy theory antennas were up because they're in Chicago. Roman Reigns was nowhere to be found.
He wasn't. They played it up.
So, a storyline, it makes sense, but just thinking that possibly they're afraid that Roman would have gotten booed. I don't know if he would have.
You can't boo a man that had leukemia.
But we've been seeing, some people were booing him a little bit. It wasn't obviously as strong as it's been in the past. You take those people to Chicago.
I mean,
they're third hour. They're like 4 or 5 beers deep already. Might get a little rowdy.
Yeah. The last time Roman was in
Brandon
Chicago,
knows.
he beat Jinder Mahal at Money in the Bank. Let's not forget. Yeah. So then, Rollins cuts a babyface promo before his match with McIntyre. He said, "Those chair shots were for my brother. This is for me." And they go out there. They were having a really good match.
Very good.
Lesnar's music hits, and they're really putting over the Claymore as a devastating finishing maneuver.
It looks
I
devastating.
like how people aren't kicking out of finishers. I love it.
Yep.
I enjoy it. He hits the Claymore, beats Rollins. And yeah, thoughts on the match?
The match was very good. I didn't like the ending. It's just kind of, once again, we can get into it on other matches on Raw and SmackDown. We're having these finishes where the babyface are looking stupid because someone plays someone's music, or a bell's ringing, or somebody takes a couple steps behind them, and they just turn around and forget that there's a match going on.
A match, yeah.
And it's just.
I feel like it's kind of a pet. It's is it a pet peeve to you? It's a pet peeve to me. It's there's a match going on, so why turn around when there's something
And if anything, if they interfere in the match, you win.
Yeah.
And you would get the winner's payday if they do interfere in.
Absolutely.
So, that's just one of the things that I think WWE uses it too much as a crutch, and it just hurts them storytelling wise of them. It's okay to maybe use it every once in a while, but when you use it twice a week, it's why are you doing this all the time?
Yep.
I don't
Just
know.
lazy booking.
Yep.
All right, the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, WWE Hall of Famer, chooses his final opponent for his farewell match, and it's Baron Corbin.
The match we all wanted to see.
Look here. I like Baron Corbin. I do. But they were in Chicago. That was the same arena John debuted against Angle. I thought, all right, come on, WWE.
You gotta pull something out over
here.
here.
Let's make it happen. And then he chooses Baron Corbin, and I'm like, all right.
I think you could hear crickets when you heard when you said Baron Corbin. Because honestly, I thought it would be big match John because it would have gone full circle. A lot of the storyline is just right there.
There are 2 more Raws. Maybe it gets fixed. We don't know. Maybe it gets fixed.
John Cena posted on Instagram a photo of a fan holding up a sign saying that Baron Corbin sucks or something like that. So John Cena's played into this.
Exactly.
And it's also, it's weird. Samoa Joe was another person who he thought John Cena was going to face. He's taken up with Rey Mysterio.
Yes.
2 shows out and no sign of John Cena anywhere.
Exactly. No sign of The Undertaker either.
So
it's interesting.
We've been talking about in the past that WrestleMania and WWE been focused too much on older stars, and besides Triple H and Batista, it's pretty much
the youngins.
It's pretty much the core main roster.
Yeah. All right. So then Angle goes on to have a match with Chad Gable, and he defeats him.
The match was, for a professional wrestling standpoint, I thought they would have given us more, but always because when you think Chad Gable, you think of like a younger version of Kurt Angle.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I was actually psyched for this match. The match was, in my opinion, okay. But,
I think the crowd, if he would have announced that he was choosing Chad Gable to wrestle at WrestleMania instead of Baron Corbin, I think that would have got at least some sort of a pop. And I think people obviously would have liked this match compared to Baron Corbin. I think they would have liked anybody over Baron Corbin at this point. But the match, we've always kind of thought about this match for a long time, ever since Chad Gable came to the company. And I mean, I think Kurt Angle just really showed his age in this match. Like, there was a lot of kind of like sloppy spots, like it wasn't as crisp as his matches used to be, and it just kind of shows like, okay, yeah. I mean, ever since he came back and he was the honorary member of the Shield, we've kind of seen that he's not the Kurt Angle that he used to be.
No, it's crazy. Even like in 2017 when he was having like those indie matches, there were some good matches there.
Yeah.
It was only like barely 2 years ago still, but I'm like, God, come on, what happened?
if this was Kurt Angle, but 15 years ago against a Chad Gable, like today's Chad
Dude,
Gable,
if
that
this
would
was
have
Kurt
been...
Angle 2014, it still would have been great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what happened.
I think like maybe obviously storyline sense, it makes sense for him to face Baron Corbin. Maybe this is also another way to have like temper expectations of how good the match can be. You put him against Baron Corbin, no one's going to think it's going to steal the show. But if you put him against John Cena, yes, Cena doesn't wrestle all that much. He's not the technical wizard, but they might think it's going to be
Steal
a
the
really
show,
good match,
yeah.
or it can be like maybe not on the Hogan Rock type thing, but something like that where it's just a spectacle.
Oh, Hogan Rock. All right. Then Apollo Crews goes on to defeat Baron Corbin.
by a roll-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have Kurt Angle who's winning all his matches and Baron Corbin losing his matches. So, I mean, if Baron Corbin ends up winning in WrestleMania, the crowd might just riot.
Yeah.
It's a possibility. That New York, New Jersey crowd. Oh, boy. All right. Rowdy Ronda Rousey, she defends her Raw Women's Championship against Dana Brooke, and she
got annihilated.
She beats Dana, then she just starts attacking security and referees again. Then her husband, Travis Brown, gets involved. And, yeah. Your thoughts, Brandon?
I thought it was weird that, like, Ronda Rousey did her entrance and they did, like, 2 different, like, segments while she was, like, just standing there in the ring. I thought that was just kind of awkward. I think, obviously, they do the thing where they have the person come out and it's like, oh, look, they're coming out, so match is going to be next. But they do all this other stuff. And then, especially being there live, we've seen it where someone makes an entrance and then they're just standing there for, like, 5-10 minutes just not doing anything.
Yeah.
And then it's just awkward. And especially with Ronda Rousey's character where she's supposed to, like, not, give a ish about anything. So, the match itself was quick and simple and to the point. Basically, no one gave Dana Brooke a chance, and that's kind of how they treated it.
Yep.
I do like the insertion of Travis Brown as being like the only person who can control Ronda because she's not going to attack him. He can calm her down. So I think it's a nice little introduction of Travis Brown into the situation.
Yep.
Yeah, whatever.
She made Ronda Rousey was made to look like an unstoppable force. I really like that. They're playing her up for the triple threat match heading up to WrestleMania. I really like that. I really like how she's very in your face. She just annihilated Dana Brooke. I really like that. I really like the whole segment from the boyfriend hitting the security to her just wailing on Dana Brooke. I really liked it.
Justice for Dana.
Yeah, I mean, when we think of people who are underutilized and love this business, we don't think of Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
I don't know why they really put her in this situation, but maybe Alicia Fox was supposed to be in there, but something happened.
Okay, let's not get into that.
I know there's 2 shows left, so I'm pretty sure they're going to do this eventually.
Yeah.
That we need, all 3 women on the show together doing something, because it's just kind of awkward that Ronda talks about the other 2, and then the other 2 on the other show, but they're never, interacted with each other.
Yeah. I mean, they've been doing that for, the past month and a half.
Yes.
The go-home show, they can all brawl or something, I don't know.
The penultimate show.
Oh, yes. All right, what else happened on Raw? So Lio Rush and Lashley, the Intercontinental Champion, they take a loss to Finn Balor and a partner of his choosing, and it was Braun Strowman. While Finn's making his entrance, Michael Cole says it's going to be a monstrous opponent or tag team partner, something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's Braun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Braun's tied up with the celebrities and the SNL guys at WrestleMania. Plus, he's in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. So, yeah.
I really like the selling of Lio Rush.
Lio Rush is great.
Yeah, Lio Rush is. I haven't seen the show in a while, but Lio Rush is. Wow, he was selling.
It's a cool
that.
theme.
He was
Great moveset.
Yeah, he was selling those throws and those punches from Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman, to his credit, has gotten really better in the ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fine for what it was. I've kind of said this in the past. I feel like Braun Strowman should be kind of the Andre the Giant type role, and this is kind of what it is. You bring him in there to be that mystery partner. The little baby face gets the big monstrous guy to help him out. Maybe not ideal for what we want to see out of Finn Balor. They are kind of burying Lio Rush at this point, so I don't know what they're going to do with Lio Rush if him and Lashley ever break up, because Lashley, once again, just didn't even come to the defense of Lio Rush, and that probably not even going to talk about it next week. It's just like nothing happened.
Yep.
Just nothing happened. I mean, could Lio Rush really survive on Raw without Bobby Lashley?
Probably not.
Lio Rush
Probably not. Lio Rush
still
is
on
probably
205 Live?
205. Yeah.
Is he still?
Does anybody watch 205 Live?
Does anybody here watch 205 Live?
I know. We're going to talk a little 205 Live
that
later
other guy
on.
who used to sit over there, he used to watch 205 Live.
No, we're going to talk a little 205 Live later on. We are.
Okay, if you say so.
All right. So a moment of bliss, because I love every moment of bliss. The host of WrestleMania 35, Elias is on her show. There's a conga line with heavy machinery, and for some reason, No Way Jose still has a job. He has a match with Elias, and Elias beats him as he should.
Yep.
No Way Jose in disguise in his own conga line.
Yep.
No Way Jose with those Naomi braids.
And he was wearing like a Pentagon mask or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, No Way Jose to AEW.
Yep. The only good thing of this segment was just Alexa Bliss is always so lovely.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yes.
What are they doing with Heavy Machinery? They're the new Bushwhackers, and they were a fun tag team in NXT, but they were funny, but they were serious.
Yeah. I met one of the Bushwhackers once.
I love how this conversation is diverging to the Bushwhackers.
Sorry. Bushwhacker Luke, cool dude.
Shout out to the Bushwhackers.
Shout out. Nobody. Wow, guys. Okay.
Sorry, we left you hanging. Man.
Fine. God. All right. So the Boston Hug Connection, the first ever women's tag team champions. Big air quotes there. They're out in the ring cutting a promo. Natalya and the Glamazon, WWE Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix. They show up and they Beth basically issues a WrestleMania challenge, coming out of retirement, possibly for an opportunity to become women's tag team champions. And then, of course, Tamina and Nia get involved and allow Banks.
Tamina finally getting a shirt. Shout out to Tamina.
I know.
Getting that merch money, baby.
Exactly. She was on Lillian Garcia's podcast talking about how she's been there for so long and she just now got a shirt. It's a travesty, really.
Yep.
Banks gets assaulted, so she gets the DQ win over Natty.
Yeah.
Yeah. It happened.
The women's tag team division is only like 2 months old, and we already don't care about it.
Yeah.
So
Bring back the Glamour Girls, dude. They were like the last tag team champions back in '89. Let's bring
back the Jumping Bomb Angels.
Jesus.
Let's do it. All right, Mojo Rawley channels his inner King of Pop, and he looks at the man in the mirror. They're bringing back the Mojo promos. What are you guys' thoughts?
Say he's leaving Mojo. Eh?
Well,
I'm trying. I'm like the Iconics, trying to force in, pop culture references.
Iconic, and then do the little pose.
You saw it here, ladies and gentlemen. A pose, iconic pose.
That's why you watch the video for stuff like that. What are your thoughts on Mr. Rawley?
That was just weird. That was just me. It was just weird. Him talking himself in the mirror. Yeah, that was just weird for me.
I mean, I enjoyed it just because they did this for 2-3 weeks in a row, and then they just completely dropped it for a month and a half, and then out of nowhere they just bring it back.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing with him. Maybe he's gonna get a semi-serious push. Maybe he's Roman Reigns' next opponent after WrestleMania. But they need to do something with Mojo, because I'm not gonna say he's underutilized, because he hasn't exactly shown that he can be at least mid-card wrestler.
He won the entree to the battle.
Because
won
he's
it
friends
last
with Gronk.
year. Don't remember that.
No, Matt Hardy won it last year. He won in 33.
33.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy won the Andre Battle Royal last year?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I had no idea. Was this on the pre-show?
All honesty.
No, it's on the main card.
Matt Hardy.
Yes.
Woke in Matt Hardy, won the Andre.
It may have been on the pre. I don't remember. Look, anyway, Ricochet defeats Jinder Mahal. He defeats a former WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Shot at Aleister Black on his honeymoon.
Yes.
And Ricochet beats Jinder Mahal as he should, but it was a boring match. Jinder was dominating, I would say, for most of the match.
As he should.
Boring chin locks.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a fan of the headlock.
And that's why you love
Headlock over dive, bro.
That's why you like
That's
Randy Orton so
that's
much.
psychology. Not all this flippy crap. That's real psychology, man. God.
But he did.
I don't care if you can do a 630 senton.
Well, but
Give me a nice headlock.
No, but Ricochet did beat a former WWE champion, so
Yeah. So
So have many other people.
we'll see. We'll see. You know. You never know. You never know. All right, and the animal sends a message to the game. I think he's at his home office via satellite, and he just says, I just don't like him. I hope Vince is gonna wake up one day and all that other stuff.
The delivery from Batista I thought was good. I don't know what's going on with him to where he's good in these like pre-taped interviews, but yet when you bring him out in front of a crowd, he's just not clicking.
Dude, Batista.
it's just the problem is there's no script in front of him to.
No, man, Batista had some good one-liners when he was heel Batista back in the day.
Yeah, that was
back in the day.
That was back in the day. I'm just saying, from the Evolution promo he cut and what he did last week, those two promos itself were not very good, technically speaking. And then this one, I mean, it was fine. I mean, the thing I had a problem with is like a lot of the things he said is like true things that people have talked about Triple H in the past.
Yeah.
And like legit real things.
Hey.
And Michael Cole saying, "Oh, I've known Triple H for 22 years and he's never done anything to me." When like the entire his debut with DX and stuff was like DX just destroying Michael Cole.
Yep.
Well, heels always get to have some truth to it, and Michael Cole,
He had a lot of truth to it.
he was a young boy,
How you doing, Drax?
Hopefully
All
you get saved in
right.
Endgame.
All right. Let's talk about SmackDown Live. So, The Miz, the most must-see WWE superstar of all time, comes out and he cuts a fantastic promo, hyping up his match with Shane O'Mac. Talks about how Shane attacked his 68-year-old father. I think The Miz's dad's birthday was yesterday, so happy belated birthday, Mr. Mizanin.
Shout out Mr. Miz.
Yeah, and Miz he got me a little hyped up for it, man.
Can I just say something?
What?
I am not a fan of The Miz, but in this promo, it made me cheer for The Miz. It was such a fantastic. He
The Miz
delivered
is a great
it
person,
with.
man.
He delivered with such anger and ferocity and seriousness on his face. I've really felt for The Miz.
I mean, the man went from literally changing in like the public restroom of the arena to now. I mean, he became the WWE champion, main evented WrestleMania,
And yet his dad still never said he loved him.
exactly. And then he finally got his dad's approval.
I think Mr. Miz is the real heel in this situation.
God,
Love your kids. people.
exactly. Finally got his dad's approval, and he earned the respect of the wrestling community. That's real
Kudos to
storytelling.
you, Miz.
That's real storytelling
I
right there,
didn't like
man.
you for the longest time, but kudos to you.
God, I was thinking, put the best in the world trophy on the line, like in the ladder match, kind of hide Shane's quirks in the ring or whatever.
Okay.
He's the best in the world. He has no quirks. He's the
That's true.
best in the world.
He is
But
the best wrestler in the world. Sorry, Kenny.
I liked the promo. I don't think I liked it as much as you guys did, saying that it was a fantastic promo. There were some contradictories in there where he said like, oh, in the past he's like cheated and whatever, but then like a few minutes later he said, oh, I've worked my ass off and no one works harder than me. So, but there was some other things in there that
Nobody works harder than him, man.
But then he said like
He just looked at you.
but he said like 45 seconds earlier in the promo that he's in the past he cut corners.
Dude.
But now
Like
he's a
in the
hard worker.
ring, but like
Shout
behind the
out to
scenes.
Brandon's attention to detail. Look at you,
I mean,
man.
like, you can cut corners in the ring, but then backstage you can be one of the hardest working guys out there. I mean, because look, what did he say? Hard work beats talent, but talent doesn't work hard. So, then again, you know.
But Shane's the best in the world, so
yeah.
and he
Shane
works
and
hard.
Shane
I
and
mean,
I.
did you not see how sweaty he gets when he's in the ring? That's how hard he's working.
Exactly. Shane and I, we're kind of in the same boat. Like,
Yep.
we can give 10% of the talent, and it's outshining anybody who has a
Yeah.
quote-unquote hard work ethic.
Yep.
Get the most out of doing the least.
Exactly.
Eat your heart out, Kenny Omega.
Exactly. Yes. Eat your heart out, Tyson Smith. Breaking the fourth wall. God damn it. All right, so then the Women's Tag Team Champions finally show up on SmackDown. And they face and are defeated by the Iconics. I love the Iconic. Yeah, they got
Another
do
two
a pose,
in a row.
dude.
Two in a row.
You know, I'm on the right, so I'm Billy Kay.
I don't know why, but like I kind of chuckle every time they do that. I'm like,
I like the Iconics a little too much, I think.
I know, right? They're great.
Yep.
So does that put that put them in line for a Women's Tag Team Championship opportunity? I
Probably.
think it should.
Yeah, I think it should.
Oh, Lacey
Now, look,
Evans.
fatal four-way match, playa.
Lacey
He said player.
Lacey Evans made her way out to the ring. And I like how the women, they were kind of still wrestling while they're like, what the hell's going on, you know?
Yep.
So, you know, they
Where's
didn't...
Asuka? She's the women's champion 2 weeks out, and she's getting, like, no mention whatsoever.
Oh, Brock's not there all the time. She can miss a couple weeks. I'll be alright. Okay.
But at least
Absence make the heart
But I
grow
think
fonder.
she's, like, in the building, and they're still not doing anything with her.
You never know.
Get Paige to manage her or something.
Yep.
All right.
Paige here. Shout out Fight With My Family. It was a good movie. I liked it.
I haven't seen it yet. I have to go watch it.
It was good.
Wait, is it a good movie, Brandon?
It's a good movie.
Paige, she's a big cinema star.
But
Multiple movies.
Well, she's not actually in the... Okay, anyway.
He said multiple movies.
Oh, God. We're going downhill. Sorry.
Anywho, the Fighting With My Family, being an avid wrestling fan where I know a whole lot of stuff about the actual business and stuff like that, you know, it kind of takes me out of the moment. Sometimes there's like obvious lies where Paige is walking around when she's like 5 holding the Divas Championship because that's what she wanted to be her whole life. When obviously, if you're watching
That title didn't exist.
when you're watching The Rock from 2000, obviously there's no such thing as the Divas Championship. But regardless, there were some other things. But
Yeah.
and they just kind of gloss over her entire run in NXT as Women's Champion. But
Yeah, her... Zelina Vega being AJ Lee and the attire she wore, like, she didn't wear that. Like, she wore, like, a cutoff tee and, like, jean shorts, like Daisy Dukes. Like,
Happy birthday, AJ.
Happy birthday, AJ. All right, Rey Mysterio cuts a promo backstage with his son, Dominic. And so Rey Mysterio is going to be facing Samoa Joe at WrestleMania for the United States Championship. Congrats.
I think Dominic is like... Isn't he training to be a wrestler?
Yes, he is.
He's getting choked up by Joe. We already know this because there'd be no reason why they introduced Dominic without him getting choked out.
I feel old,
when Dominic is in a storyline, bad things happen to Dominic.
Remember the whole storyline 2005? That's where I saw Dominic. Everybody knows the ladder match for the custody of Dominic, Eddie Guerrero versus Rey
Dude,
Mysterio.
and then the botch where Vicky was too late. Eddie's, like, on the ground yelling, where the... was Vicky?
Yeah.
Oh, great stuff.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. Yeah, Rey Mysterio, you know, I mean, he proves that, you know, you don't have to be a big guy in the business to be successful. What's that one quote? It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
Yep.
He's going to need all that fight when he goes up against the Samoan submission machine for the championship of our country. All right, the Kevin Owens show is back. KO got on a blazer, nice little red tie, dressed up for the occasion, because his guests were the man Becky Lynch and the Queen Charlotte Flair, quote unquote Mrs. WrestleMania. That's floating around Twitter, so we'll see if that takes off come WrestleMania 35. The girls, they have a war of words, and then they just start brawling.
They didn't say one word at each other.
They didn't.
They barely said anything.
I mean, Charlotte spoke. You know.
I think Kevin Owens just says like, we don't want to hear you guys talk. We want to hear you guys fight.
Oh, bro, you're gonna
Oh,
destroy
chill!
the
You're
set.
ruining the set.
I got enough to fix it. We got time. Yeah. So and then they just brawl with each other.
Yeah.
It was okay. I mean, this whole build has basically been off of words, and I kind of wanted to see them do more. But I think they're definitely trying to build up the feud between Charlotte and Becky because I think Charlotte's taken the pin in this match, so they're trying to make people feel satisfied when Becky beats Charlotte instead of beating Ronda. So I think that's what they're going with this, and as I said, hopefully Ronda gets involved somehow within the next 2 weeks on either Raw or SmackDown because it's just kind of awkward. You have a triple threat match, and none of the three competitors are not really interacting with each other.
That's what social media is for, man.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Shout out to Becky Lynch with that shampoo money.
AJ Styles cuts a promo talking about his match coming up with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. Then he wished Kofi good luck in the Gauntlet match. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good promo. I said this a few weeks ago when we did the Harley Race promo pick that I wish we had more storylines that kind of involved every wrestler on the company. And this Kofi match, match. I mean, The Miz talked about it, KO talked about it, AJ Styles talked about it, a lot of the baby faces on the roster talked about it, and I wish they did that more often to make the matches feel even bigger, that other wrestlers in their own little storyline, in their own little world are talking about this match as well because it's such a big deal and they're behind them.
Yep.
Yes. They heard you, man. They did.
Apparently they listen to the podcast.
Somebody's listening. Somebody's tapping
Out
our
of the
phones.
10 people, someone from Connecticut's watching.
Whoa.
From the 10 people.
Hold on.
For the thousands upon thousands of people
The
listening.
billions.
Yeah, there you go.
The billions.
Listening around the world. Somebody's listening to the BC, baby. All right. And then Daniel Bryan, he has a promo before the Gauntlet match starts. Daniel Bryan's become everything that he hated. Starts calling Kofi a B+ player. He just plays into the whole heel angle. Yeah?
Yeah, I did like the whole symmetry of kind of the Kofi dynamic and the Bryan dynamic kind of mirroring each other. That you can definitely take some parallels, but there's also some differences. And I mean, I thought that's perfect heel work. Is just kind of him being what's the word I'm looking for? Him, basically being what he was fighting that all those years ago.
Absolutely, yes. Yep. So then we get into the Kofi Kingston Gauntlet match. First up is Sheamus, and they have a pretty solid match with each other. Kofi hits Trouble in Paradise, and he pins Sheamus, and then Cesaro just immediately jumps in, and he gets caught with the SOS and gets beat. Thoughts on those two portions of the match before we continue?
They were fine. This was definitely the part where Kofi was fresh. And he was having like real matches, and he was going back and forth. And the bar, kind of the lower end of the
bar,
the gauntlet, so to speak. It was a good match. They were fine.
I'm gonna say my comments till after.
All right.
Yeah.
Then Rowan comes out there and he gets himself disqualified by assaulting Kofi with a chair and face slamming him into the announce table
without taking the monitors off.
Yes, that's
even more devastating.
Yes, we're getting really risky. So then he moves on to Samoa Joe, and Kofi rolls him up after Samoa Joe was going for the critically acclaimed Muscle Buster. And
it's been a long time since he teased that.
Yeah, been quite a while.
Like, when's the last time? Like, I think he was wrestling like AJ or a TNA guy, where they teased the Muscle Buster, but of course he didn't hit it.
Yeah, I think the last time he actually hit it was like NXT.
Was Tyson Kidd.
He hit it before. He hit it like after that too. I think he hit it on Finn.
Shout out to Tyson Kidd.
Yeah, shout out Tyson Kidd. You're doing a great job.
Shout out Tupac. Made it onto a kitty litter.
Oh,
shout out.
All right, and then he goes up against Randy Orton. I loved how they called back to 2009 and how Randy Orton kind of stopped the rise of Kofi when he could have gone on to become or had an opportunity at the WWE Championship all those years ago, and Randy gets rolled up and Kofi beats all the guys. What are your thoughts on that?
The Randy Orton roll-up was not very pretty. I don't know whose fault that was.
He was exhausted, dude.
Yeah, I know. And there were a couple points in the match where when he hit the SOS, was it on Randy or Samoa Joe where he hit the SOS, he completely landed on his head. It was not a pretty sight, and he was like selling it, but then you can also maybe he did get kind of hurt. So Kofi, obviously, wrestling for 55 minutes, you're going to be exhausted and mess up some things that you normally would execute perfectly fine, but it was good.
I told you, I'm saving my comments till later.
Okay. And shout out Byron Saxon. He did like a little dog whistle saying, continuing the racial tension in this storyline, saying that Kofi has to work twice as much just to get half as far. So they're still continuing to play up that card, but not explicitly saying it.
Yeah, they're doing it, man. And then the New Day, the rest of the New Day, Xavier Woods and Big E, they run out there, congratulate their boy, and Vince McMahon comes out there and he says, "Congratulations, Kofi, you're going to WrestleMania if you can beat one more guy." And that guy is the eco-friendly new Daniel Bryan, the WWE Champion. And they have a nice little match. Kofi hits another SOS that did not look so pretty. Gets a 2 count on Bryan. They go through the motions. Daniel hits a running knee and defeats Kofi Kingston, crushing Kofi's dreams of going to Kofi Mania.
This has been the most emotionally invested I've been in a Raw or SmackDown in a long time. When I was watching this, it actually... I wanted Kofi to do it. Like, when he went through the bar, he went through Randy Orton, he went through Samoa Joe. As a fan, I was looking at it as a lens from a fan. I was like, man, he's going through all of this. Please just let him go through. And when he finally beat Randy Orton, I was just like, oh, man, he did it. And then Vince McMahon came out. I was like, oh, man, this is still his show.
Well, he beat Randy Orton with like 5 minutes left on the show, so you knew something was going to happen.
Yeah. But, I was so caught up in that moment. I was just like, oh, man, he did it. And then Daniel Bryan came out, and shout out to, I love the Bryan Danielson stomps. I've been seeing those stomps since ROH.
Yeah, dude.
And he's kind of bringing back the I Got 5 gimmick.
Yeah, those are really vicious.
Yeah, and then when he got pinned, I just felt deflated for Kofi Kingston.
Yeah, after he beat Orton, I wasn't even looking at the time. I'm just like, oh, okay, he did it. Cool, Vince. I wasn't really paying attention to what was gonna happen, and then Daniel comes out. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So, we got 2 more shows left, so Kofi will find his way to WrestleMania. Superstar Spotlight. Who?
Oh. You just completely looked over me. I have a lot of hot takes about this.
Okay, give some hot takes.
Here we go.
I talked about how this is kind of the same about Daniel Bryan, the Kofi Kingston storyline. People remember, WrestleMania 30, it was such a great moment, but leading up the fall of, was it 2014?
2014, the Gauntlet match.
It was like, so it's basically like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. We keep thinking we're going to kick the football, but nope, they keep pulling away from us. And it's every single time, like the Dana Bryan, yes, at WrestleMania 30, everyone was going crazy, but it could have been so much better if they just gave us what we wanted and Dana Bryan was champion going into WrestleMania and he, like, you know, defeated the Beast or whatever the hell you wanted to do. And I thought the moment where Kofi Kingston beat Randy Orton was great. That's an emotional moment. You could end it on that. He did it. He's going to go to WrestleMania because I think in the end, Kofi's going to WrestleMania and beating Daniel Bryan. So I don't understand what's the point of doing, going to kick the football and Vince McMahon takes it away from us just so you can
Vince intercepted it. that's
just so you
what
get an
happened.
extra,
As usually
just so you
does.
can get an extra 2 weeks of storylines out of this. When you could have, have Kofi cut a spirited promo the week after, run like a 5-minute video package about what his career's been, and him doing a sit-down interview. And you can do these things there's only 2 shows left on SmackDown that there's so much stuff you can talk about already. So I just don't understand what they're going to do going forward to get us more invested that they couldn't have just done on this show. Give it to them and then build upon that.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
And then Kevin Owens is just sitting there doing nothing. So
Kevin Owens said he's going to be watching that match very
yeah, but are
closely.
they what is okay? Vince took it away from Kofi. So what is Vince's next plan now that Kofi didn't earn a title shot? What is he going to do now?
We'll have to tune in Tuesday.
Man,
to
that
find
Brandon, that was almost like rant material, man.
We ran on the show,
That wasn't an angry rant. I've gotten very angry sometimes.
You should have heard the rant I gave last week.
Well, no, what was the one we had that guy who used to sit here all the time? He thought like one of those Braun Strowman angles was great and fantastic.
Oh, when he was it the grappling hook?
No, I think it was like when he was in the limo with Miz or whoever, and like he thought it was fantastic.
Oh, the garbage truck.
Something like one of those dumb Braun Strowman things he did a couple, last year, and I was like, that was so dumb, and he thought it was so dumb it was funny. I was like, no, it was just dumb.
Yeah. There have been moments on here where I'm like, oh. All right,
That's why I kicked him off.
All right, so I want to get into WrestleMania real quick before we go into the Superstar Spotlight. All the matches that we officially have announced. Ronda Rousey versus Becky versus Charlotte for the Raw Women's title. Brock versus Seth for the Universal title. Dave versus Paul for No Holds Barred or whatever.
Have we confirmed that Batista has no nipples?
Dude, you saw that too? I'm like, what was that?
I don't.
Weird.
I'm sorry.
It's
I don't
a
look
WrestleMania graphic.
I don't look at people's nipples. Sorry about
And
that.
like 2010 Triple H on his body and on 2019's face, it was
it was amazing. It was absolutely great. Best in the world, Shane McMahon goes up against Mike Mizanin, AJ Styles versus Randy Orton, Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin, Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe for the U.S. title, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese for the Cruiserweight title. Dude, we get some 205 Live in here. And then we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
What about the Fallopian Tube Battle Royal?
That has not been announced,
The
so
Fallopian
hopefully that does not happen.
Oh, hosted by Alexa Bliss, right?
Yes,
With special
hosted.
correspondents Michael Che and Colin Jost.
Yes, so that's what WrestleMania is looking like. It was like 7 or 9 matches I just named off, something like that. So yeah,
And isn't it supposed to be like 17?
Yeah, so we're filling up.
We're only halfway there.
We're only halfway there. Superstar Spotlight. I'll go to Drew McIntyre. Good promo on Raw, beating Seth Rollins. It's happening. He's doing it. The Scottish Terminator.
It's the easy pick. I'll go with Kofi. Yes, he ran the gauntlet. He ended up losing,
run the gauntlet.
but I thought it was a good week for him. All it was just him wrestling. But I thought overall, especially, I really liked how Big E and Xavier Woods were in this whole dynamic, being, them being just so happy for him, and they felt like a real team, like winning the championship at the end of SmackDown.
I have to go with Kofi Kingston as well.
Yep, they feel like we are family. All your brothers and sisters with me. Nobody? Nobody really?
I'm too tired to sing.
All right. Promo pick, Brandon, take it away.
So, a promo pick. This happened 20 years ago on Friday, March 22nd, 1999. We've all seen it. The corporation comes out cutting a promo about Stone Cold a couple weeks out before WrestleMania 15. And then Stone Cold comes out with a beer truck, hoses him down, jumps off the beer truck, and beats the corporation's ass. We've all seen it. Historical moment in WWE Raw history. Wasn't it voted like the #1 moment in Raw history for whenever Raw 25 happened a few years ago? So,
yeah.
I mean, iconic. Just something that we've all seen. And,
3. You're counting 3 on this show.
We're probably going to talk about The Rock versus Stone Cold WrestleMania 15 in the coming weeks as well. So,
All right, so let's talk some WrestleMania 16 for the closing match pick of the week. It happened in Anaheim, California. It was smooth California. Everything was going down. So, Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit versus Kurt Angle for the Intercontinental and European Championships. This is when Kurt Angle was the Euro-Continental Champion, so it was a triple threat match. The first fall would decide the Intercontinental Championship, and then the second fall would decide the European Championship. WrestleMania 2000, April 2nd, 2000. It was a cool match. What'd you think of it, Brandon?
It was a good match. WrestleMania 20 kind of being an overlooked WrestleMania. People say like, oh, it was not the best WrestleMania in the world. I looked over the card, and this might be the only WrestleMania in history where there was no like singles match on the show. There was no one-on-one singles match throughout the entire show. Everything was multi-man or tag team match, and this match was fine. It was a good match, but just WrestleMania 2000. Probably the best of, there's an original, the OG TLC match, but out of like a technical standpoint, probably the best match on the show.
This was always good because Kurt Angle always explained he was the first ever Eurocontinental champion, which he wasn't, but never mind that. But this was a great match. Was it Chris Jericho who won the European title? Chris Benoit won the Intercontinental title, right?
Spoiler alert!
Oh, I'm sorry for all those.
No, that happened.
That happened, yeah.
And Kurt Angle walked away with nothing.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the main event was a McMahon in every corner for the WWF Championship. You had Vince with Rock, you had Shane with Big Show, you had Linda with Mick Foley, and then you had Stephanie McMahon Helmsley with her husband, The Game, the reigning, defending WWF Champion, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It was during the My Time theme song era from Triple H. It was all great stuff. Go watch it. It was fantastic.
The match should have just been Rock versus Triple H, but you got to get the McMahons over and have everyone on the show.
You gotta do that, man. I love having a McMahon at every corner.
Yeah,
we should have a McMahon at every corner for this podcast.
Well, I mean, I'll speculate maybe that women's triple threat.
You never know, man. I mean,
McMahon at every corner.
Linda's busy being the administrator of small businesses in the Trump cabinet, but All right,
I think she'll be freed up in 2021.
I hope she will, because my boy Dwayne's winning. All right, follow us on Twitter at BulletCast, Instagram, The BulletCast, YouTube channel, The BulletCast, email us, BulletCast2 is the number 2, sweet, swet@gmail.com, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play, iHeartRadio, 99.9 FM KW in Watsonville every Friday night from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can listen to this luscious voice box. I'd like to thank you guys for coming on. It's been a good show. We're on the road to WrestleMania. We've got 2 more Raw and SmackDowns left, and then we're going to see how it's shaping up.
Penultimate week of WrestleMania.
Yes, absolutely. The 30th of this month, it's going to be a Saturday. Brandon and I will be in Daly City for All Pro Wrestling. It's going to be a good show. Jacob Fatu is going to be on there. SCU! Daniels, Kazarian, and Sky, they're going to be there. So it's going to be some fun stuff.
So there will be some Being the Elite shenanigans at least going on backstage.
Absolutely. Hopefully I can get an interview with somebody somewhere. All right, guys. This has been a great show. Ta-ta for now.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.